Hello, hello. Let me wipe my camera. Welcome in YouTube. Welcome in TikTok. Welcome in FB. Let me make sure I can see these comments. Come on in, come on in, come on in. If you are wanting to make extra income, get in this chat. If you want to know how you can leave your 9 to 5, you need to get in this chat. So come on in, come on in. And as you come in, make sure you guys are tapping the screen. Get the likes up on the live, TikTok, YouTube. Y'all come on in and hit the thumbs up on the live stream. Come on in, come on in, come on in. If you are new here, drop new in the chat so I can shout you out. Drop new in the chat so I can shout you out. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday, happy Friday. Can y'all hear me okay? Can y'all hear me okay? So, a couple rules of the live stream. This is going to be an interactive live, y'all. So, I'm going to need you guys to talk to me in the chat. I'm going to need for y'all to participate. That's what's going to help class go smooth today. Hey, Deja. Hey, Unapologetic. Welcome in, welcome in. Come on in, everybody. Lady Dang said new and I bought your package last night. Let's go, Lady Dang. Period. I hope you are enjoying it. Lady Dang, did you get inside the FB community? Hey, Renee. YouTube, ain't nobody saying nothing in the chat. Y'all being funny acting tonight? Y'all being funny acting tonight? Come in and speak. We got, who is that? Alexis in the chat. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Tramika. Come on in, everybody. So, if you have a desire to get paid from helping others, you need to be in this chat. If you have a desire to make extra income outside of your 9 to 5, you need to get in this chat. We're going to get down to it. We're going to get down to it. We got Jersey in the chat, Cheryl in the chat, period. P4 said new. Welcome in. Chandre said, hey, Chandre. Hey, y'all. So, welcome in, welcome in. If this is your first time seeing me on live, my name is Lane. I'm based in Atlanta and I teach you guys how to get paid from housing the homeless. So, pretty much, I teach you guys how to create impactful businesses while also helping your community at the same time. So, it's really a win for win. Who is that? Villain Natural Beauty. Hey, Lane. Hey, Villain. Hey, Wealthy. So, come on in, y'all. YouTube, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up on the live stream. Hey, Shay. TikTok, I'm going to need for you guys to tap the screen, get me to at least 5K likes, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, a lot of y'all got spare bedrooms laying around. A lot of y'all got houses laying around. And some of y'all are empty nesters. Y'all need to get in this chat. Is it Z Legend said, hey, I'm an ATL, period. So, welcome in. And listen, y'all. I teach everyday people how to become impactful earners and impactful CEOs through starting their own housing program. What I teach you guys, anybody can do this. Anybody can come into this business and be successful. And I'm not telling y'all what I think, I'm telling y'all what I know because I've been doing this since 2021. I'm still doing it to this day. I have a total of 6 houses and 49 beds. So I rent all 6 houses with permission. So the landlords, they know what I do and they love what I do. So now I teach you guys how you can set up housing programs in your cities and your states without needing no license, no zoning, and no certification. So that's what the difference is. Cheryl said, hey, beautiful. Yes. Hey, Cheryl, welcome in, welcome in. Are y'all talking to me on FB? I don't see no comments coming through. But anyway, if you are new to the live stream, come on in. I teach you guys how to become impactful earners and impactful CEOs through starting your own housing program. Who is that? Kawika. Hey, Kawika, coming from Charlotte, period. Shout out to y'all. So, a couple of announcements in the chat. So, I'm going to be in Tampa, Florida, March 28th. So, if anybody is in Florida, I don't know if we got anybody in Florida in the chat. Or if you're close by, you need to be there. You need to be there. It's going to be a vibe. So, yes. Now, let me see. Make sure I'm not missing no comments. Where do you find your clients? So that's not the very first thing of this journey. Clients is not the first thing. So a lot of y'all just be wanting to get a house first, get the clients first. But when it comes to business, y'all, we are building from the ground up. You have to start from zero and then work your way up. You cannot go outside with no clothes on. So we are building a business. So I teach you guys how to build impactful businesses. So we're gonna get into it. So a lot of you guys might be thinking, well, what is the housing program? Hey, Black Butterfly. A lot of you guys might be thinking, so what is the housing program? How can I get involved with getting paid to house the homeless? So I teach you guys to set up independent housing. Now, some people call independent housing independent living. Some people call this co-living, shared housing. Some people may call it halfway house, sober living, but it's all the same concept, y'all. The key thing of this business, I teach you guys to house only independent and high functioning adults. So somebody type independent in the chat. So I'm gonna need some interaction in the live stream to kind of help this go by smooth. So somebody type independent in the chat. So I teach you guys how to set up your own housing program in any city in any state, but we are only housing independent and high functioning people. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gifts. Hey, Nalisa. Now, Kawika said, have to structure your business. Talk to them, Kawika. They not knowing. They talking about clients, and we ain't even get to the first step yet. We ain't even get to the first step yet. So yes, y'all, when it comes to starting your own housing program, your job is to only house independent and high functioning people. So let me tell you what this is not, because a lot of people get confused when they hear about housing adults. This is not a group home, y'all. This is not a personal care home, and this is not an assisted living. So what does that mean? That means that you don't need a license to do this. You don't need to be zoned or certified. You don't have to own the property, and you don't have to have any experience. That's why anybody can come into this business and get started and win. That's why I have students that are operating and they are felons. They got 2, 3 houses up and running. I have students that are single mothers that never started a business before. They got 2, 3 houses opened up. That's why anybody can start this, y'all. I am not a nurse. I am not a CNA. I am not nobody with all this experience in the healthcare field. I am just a businesswoman first, and I'm a baddie immediately after. So I'm proof that you guys can start this up. I've been doing this business since 2021, and I'm still doing it to this day. So let's get that clear. This is not a group home. Do not call this a group home. That word is banned in my chat. This is not a group home, y'all. This is not a personal care home, and this is not an assisted living. The biggest mistake that I see a lot of y'all make when it comes to starting up your own housing business, your own housing program, you guys are using the wrong language. You guys is going around telling people, oh, I'm a group home. So when the city come knocking at your door and they be like, do you have permission? Do you have a license to run this group home? And you like, no, I didn't know I needed one, because you're saying the wrong things. We do not call this a group home, y'all. This is not no group home. This is independent housing. And what did I tell y'all independent housing is? We are just providing a safe and structured living environment to people in need. And those people are independent adults, not children, not babies, not people that's bedbound, not people that need to be in dementia, that need to be monitored 24/7. That's why I tell y'all, when y'all stick to that blueprint, you do not have to worry about going to get licensed. You don't have to worry about going to get zoned, because we are not housing a population that requires all of that. So that's why anybody can start this up, y'all. As long as you stick to the blueprint, independent adults, you will be fine. Yolanda said, Nashville students. Shout out to my students in the chat tonight. Shout out to my heavy hitters. So I have a lot of my students in this chat that's up and running and doing their biggest one as well. So that's the first things first, y'all. Stop calling yourself a group home. The days of starting group homes is over with. For real, for real. We start in independent housing. Some people may call it independent living. Some people may call it co-living, shared housing. But that's the new word. So y'all need to change y'all language and stop talking that group home stuff. Because here's the thing. When you go to your city, and a lot of y'all, I tell all of y'all, I tell my students and I tell y'all, you do not have to go to the city to start this up. Y'all still going to go to the city anyway. Tell my son, yeah, I'm trying to start up a group home. They're going to be like, oh, well, you need a sprinkler system. You need this, you need that. You got to get certified. You got to get inspected. That's why you do not go talking group home stuff to the city, y'all. This is not a group home. When they hear group home, they're thinking that you're sitting here giving out medication, giving 3 meals a day. You're doing all of that. We're not doing that, y'all. We are only providing housing only. Somebody type housing only in the chat, and I'm gonna break it down even more for y'all. Type housing only in the chat. Shay said, and stop doing this scared. Just do it. That part. Listen, they be so scary. But I'm gonna break it down for y'all because honestly, people try to make this field seem so scary and so daunting, but it's really not. Once you stick to the blueprint and you stick to the outline that I give you guys, it's not scary. It really isn't, because the only thing that we're providing as housing providers, the only thing that you're providing these people is a safe and structured place to call home, and that is housing only. We are not giving nobody 3 meals a day. We are not bathing nobody up. We are not sitting here monitoring people 24/7. This ain't that. That's why anybody can start this up. That's why I have students that are felons coming into this business, winning and setting up 2, 3 homes and doing their biggest one. I want you guys to focus on housing only. Do not be up in here trying to cook them people 10 meals a day, trying to babysit them, trying to give them medication, because now you're not in compliance. And when the city come knocking at your door, guess what? They're going to shut your tail down. So focus on providing housing only. We do not give out services, y'all. We do not give out services. So keep it simple and focus on housing only. A safe and structured place to call home. That's it. That's it. Now, Love Indoor. Hi, Love Indoor. So now you might be thinking, all right, so what type of people can I house? Now, here's another thing, y'all. When you guys hear the word homeless, I want y'all to change your view of homelessness. A lot of times when you guys hear homeless, you think that these people have no money, that they strung out, they standing on the street corner with the signs like this saying we'll work for food. Those are not the people I teach you guys to go after. I don't teach my students to go pick up people off the street. That's very dangerous, y'all. You do not want to just house those type of people. You don't know them people background. You don't know what they got going on. That is not what homelessness looks like, y'all. Let me tell you guys what homeless looks like. Homeless looks like the senior. It looks like the veteran. It looks like the person that just came home from prison and they don't have any family. It looks like the person that's disabled but can still live independently. They're on a fixed income. Homelessness could be the person that's living out of their car, that's living from couch to couch. That's what homelessness looks like now, y'all. That's what homelessness looks like. Now, for everybody in this chat, if you've ever had desire to get paid from housing the homeless, drop the demographics that you guys would like to house. Is that people coming home from prison? Is that veterans? Is that seniors? I want everybody in the chat to drop the demographic that they think that they would like to serve in this business. I just want to see where you guys' head is at tonight. So drop in the comments what population would you want to serve if you was to open up your own housing program, your own safe house. So somebody says seniors. We got seniors and veteran. Who else we got? Period, Yolanda. This ain't that. Who else we got? Seniors, veterans. I know that's a hot topic. Everybody, I love my fixed income. Period. Vets. See, a lot of people want to house. And in the real girls that need my help, I need somewhere to stay. So yeah, y'all, a lot of people, they want to house veterans, they want to house seniors, but here's the thing. There are so many other demographics that need safe housing outside of just seniors and veterans. So I teach my students, this is the thing, y'all. I teach my students this is our mission, because we're setting up impactful businesses. We're in the business to serve all demographics. So I teach my students that your mission as a housing provider is to provide housing for people in need. We are not here to sit here and be like, oh, I'm not going to take this person. This ain't no veteran. Because listen, y'all, that's the fastest way to go out of business. The biggest problem that I see a lot of people run into that start up housing programs that learn this either online, they are like a one-track minded person. Like, oh, I only want to house people coming home from prison. I only want to house seniors. I only want to house veterans. And then you shut yourself out for the other populations that you could be serving. So this is what I tell my students. Our mission, y'all, as housing providers, as a housing program, is to provide housing for people in need. Somebody put in the chat in need, that covers everybody. Because now you tell yourself you only housing this demographic, you're leaving money on the table, y'all. You're leaving money on the table. I be on coaching calls so much with people that start these houses, and guess what? They always say, I can't fill my beds. I can't fill my beds. And I'll be like, well, what demographic are you serving? Veterans. I said, that's the problem right there. So I don't want y'all to fall into the trap of only housing one demographic, because guess what? What happened when you can't find none of that demographic to stay in your house? You're going to have to be paying rent or mortgage in 30 days. So I'm gonna kind of try to debunk that myth for y'all. Stop thinking like that. I'm gonna need for y'all to open your minds up and house people in need. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys my favorite demographic to house. Now, my favorite demographic to house, I enjoy housing veterans, I enjoy housing seniors, I enjoy housing individuals coming home from prison. I also enjoy housing people that are disabled that get a guaranteed check. And I also enjoy housing. Who else do I enjoy housing? That's pretty much the main thing. That's pretty much the main ones that I enjoy, that they don't give me too much problems, and they listen and they pay on time. So those are my favorite demographics. But if you're new here and you're just joining the chat, I teach you guys how to get paid from housing the homeless. Sound going in and out. Is my sound okay on TikTok? Is my sound okay, y'all? Period, Black Butterfly. We housing anybody that's in need, y'all. We not leaving no money on the table. We're not leaving no money on the table. And that's just that on that. We are in the business to make money, y'all. Yes, we are helping people, but at the end of the day, we're still running a business. This is not a nonprofit. Everybody else, it might be you, Miss Diane. Everybody else said they can hear me. We are not a nonprofit. We are a for-profit. We getting all our money. So this is, at the end of the day, we in the business to get paid and pour back into the community, y'all. So don't put yourself in a box of only housing one population. I have houses where a lot of my demographics are mixed, and guess what? They get along just fine. It is not no right or wrong way to start your housing program. There is no right or wrong. And that's what I love about independent housing, y'all. We are not licensed through the state. There's nobody coming and inspecting our houses. There's nobody coming to tell us, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. We are the owners. We run this. This is our stuff. But at the end of the day, even though we're not regulated, you still want to move with decency and in order, because we are still in this, for the right reasons, to serve our community and get paid. So, but that's just to let you guys know there is no right or wrong way to do this. And the way that I'm able to keep my beds filled in all of my houses is because I mix demographics. Y'all be so dead set on, I only want to house vets. I only want to house this. But when you're starting your first house, y'all, your main goal is to get some money coming in. We are in the business to make money. So you cannot be too picky. You can't be too choosy in the beginning. You got to take whoever comes to you. Listen, the main factor determining if you should take a person or not, does this person have income? If they got income, come on down. Now, of course, you're going to do your other screenings, but the main factor is if they get a guaranteed check from the government. Oh yeah, you shouldn't be had nothing to say. Oh, this ain't no veteran, I can't house them. We're not doing that, y'all. We're not doing that. TikTok, let's get the likes up to 6K, and I'm gonna move on to the next topic because I'm gonna need some interaction in this chat. Y'all playing. Hey, Lynn. YouTube sound great. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so these are the different type of demographics that you guys can house in your housing program. So you can house people in recovery. So that's people recovering from substances and alcohol. You also can house veterans, seniors, people that are disabled but can still live independently. You can house people coming home from prison or jail. You can house people that are living with HIV, because I do house people living with HIV. I also house people that are SEG offenders. And because that is another high demand population that a lot of people overlook. So that's another demographic as well. So those are the different populations that you can serve in your housing program. Now, you might be thinking, well, how are we going to get paid? Like you talking about housing the homeless, these people ain't got no money. If you want to know how a homeless individual has income, drop how in the chat and I'm going to show you guys how they have money, because just because they homeless don't mean that they don't have money. I only house homeless individuals that have guaranteed income. So I don't sit here and house nobody for free. Nobody for free. Mm-mm. I'm a businesswoman first. I'm a baddie immediately after. And that's that on that. Now, here's the thing. In this business model, y'all, this is completely private pay. So, what does private pay mean? Private pay means that the individuals that we house pay us directly to stay in our places. So, we're not getting paid from the government. We're not getting paid through grants. We're not getting paid through the state, and we're not getting paid through insurance. And if you want to get paid through those avenues, guess what? You're going to have to be licensed, zoned, and certified. The method that I'm teaching you guys is unlicensed, not you don't have to be certified, and that's why anybody could start this up. That's why anybody could start this up. So this is completely private pay. The individuals that we house pay us directly. Now you might be thinking, well, how does a homeless person have income? So I teach my students to only house individuals with this type of income. So Social Security is one, disability, VA benefits, retirement, and some of them even work jobs. So those are the only people that you want to go after, y'all. Those people that have a guaranteed check. However, so let me say this. Out of all 49 of my beds, I have maybe only 4 working people. So you do not want to fill up your houses with straight working people. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because you do not want to be chasing these people down for no check when it's time for them to pay. I don't do that. The demographic that I house, that I enjoy housing, is those one that get a fixed income and they get their money every month on the first and the third. That's who I want you guys to house. Somebody type fixed income in the chat. Hey, only day for the next Zoom meetup. What you mean, inside the FB community? So listen, y'all, we are only housing people on a we prioritize and housing people on a fixed income. Why? Because it keeps your business stable. So imagine having a house full of people that get their money every single month on the first and the third. They're gonna be paying you like clockwork. And that's what I love. I don't have to chase my people down for no money. So we are prioritizing housing individuals that are homeless that get a fixed income. So that's the main thing, y'all. Now, let me put into perspective, because I do have some people that work a job. Yeah, I need a consistency, that part nine, because I'm not trying to chase nobody down for no check. And here's another thing with the working people, y'all. A lot of those working people do not want to share rooms. So the method that I teach you guys of housing these individuals, we are doing shared rooms. We're putting a minimum of 2 people into one room. Somebody type 2 in the chat. So we are putting a minimum of 2 people in one room, y'all. The more people you can house, the more money you can make. But I'm not telling y'all to stack them in there all crazy. We still got to move with decency. But the more people you can house, the more money you can make. So the business model that I teach my students is to put 2 people in one room. Yes, there are grown independent adults that are willing to share a room. And why is that? Because if they're not sharing that room, they're either on the streets, they're in a homeless shelter, or they're in prison or jail. There is no in between. That's why the demand is so great for housing programs in the community, because we are needed. We are needed, y'all. The people that we house, a traditional landlord would never rent to them, because number one, they don't get enough money. They don't make enough money to get their whole house, to get a whole apartment. So that's why they end up in shared living homes like ours. So you might be thinking, so how can they share a room? That's why they're going to want to share a room, because they can't afford anything else. So you want to put a minimum of 2 individuals in one room. Now, Black Butterfly say how? How what? You want to put a minimum of 2 individuals in one room. Now you might be thinking, so I teach you guys how to get paid by the bed, y'all. We're getting paid by the bed. We're not sitting here getting paid by the room. So a lot of the private room people, Those private room people, they want private, they want to have a room to themselves. They don't want to follow rules. They don't want you telling them what to do. That's why I don't teach my students to prioritize housing people in private rooms. And number one, a lot of y'all biggest fear when y'all get into this business is what happened if they don't pay? What happened if they squat? The only people that's really squatting, y'all, the only people that's really squatting is those people that's in a private room. Because I've been in this business since 2021, y'all. I've never had a person in a shared room try to squat into the house. That's just not happening. But them private room people, oh yeah, oh, I paid my rent. You're gonna have to evict me. I'm not dealing with them problems. That's why I teach you guys to follow my blueprint of shared rooms, the shared model way. And in the shelter, they have 4 to 5 in the room, so they be glad to share. Listen, that part. In the shelters, they sharing the room with 20 other people. So we really putting them in something different for real, for real. But yeah, y'all. So a lot of those private room people, they're too entitled. They don't want to follow rules. Now, when I teach you guys to set up your housing programs, we are creating structure in our home. So these people that are coming into our houses and into our program, guess what? They're following rules. So kind of think of it like an Airbnb, y'all. If anybody's ever stayed in an Airbnb, drop a one in the chat, and I'm gonna break it down even more for y'all. So if you've ever stayed at Airbnb, drop a one in the chat because what we do is kind of similar to Airbnb. So instead of you renting out the whole house to one person, we are renting by the bed, y'all. We are renting by the bed. So the more beds you have, the more money you can make, the more people you can help. Now, in an Airbnb, they have something called house rules. They have something called house rules. So, for example, if you go to stay at somebody's Airbnb and you're not following their house rules, or let's say you're bringing a whole bunch of guests in their home, guess what? They have the right to ask you to leave and remove you from the premises. It's the same concept with our housing program, y'all. The individuals that we house, they are not our tenants and we are not their landlords. So, I want you guys to change your language. You are not a landlord and they are not your tenants. You are a housing program and they are a participant in your program. So that's another big mistake I see a lot of people make when they get into this business. So you do not want to call these people your tenants. They are not your tenants. And the minute you start calling them your tenants, oh, you got to evict me. Listen, y'all, I've been doing this business since 2021. I have yet to do an eviction. I have yet to do an eviction. I don't even know how to do an eviction if I had to. So when y'all be in my chat talking about what about eviction? What about eviction? I never have those issues and my students don't got them issues either because I teach them how to get around that. Honestly, y'all. And here's the thing, when I have somebody in my house that either does not pay their fees or they're breaking the rules, I tell them to leave, y'all. And guess what? They leave. They don't give me pushback. They're not sitting here tomorrow. Oh, you got to evict me. I've never had one to do it yet. Well, I take that back. When I first got started, I had one lady that tried me. But guess what? That lady was in a private room. That's why I tell y'all, I do not care for them private rooms. Them people in them private rooms be way too entitled. So that's the only person that really tried me. But in the end, she ended up leaving anyway. So I didn't have to take her to no eviction. So that's why I be telling y'all, you have to know what to say, how to move, how to maneuver, how to structure your housing program so you don't have those type of problems. Now you start housing them private room people. Listen, y'all, this is not no pass split. This ain't no putting up rooms on FB Marketplace. I don't teach y'all that. This is a housing program. We really helping our community because we are creating safe and structured living environments, y'all. That's what the difference is. Yes, we getting paid for this, but we're actually helping our community because we're allowing these people a second chance to get back into society, get their lives back on track, and do it under our roof in a safe and structured environment. These are not trap houses. I don't teach my students to set up trap houses. I don't teach my students to just rent out rooms. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. We really impacting people, y'all. We really changing lives and impacting people. So when you structure your housing program as that, you don't have to worry about that nonsense of sitting there evicting somebody and all that crazy stuff. This ain't that. So I want you guys to So back to the shared room, y'all. So let me kind of take it back because I want to break down the whole business model for y'all so y'all can understand. So we are only doing shared rooms. Now you could do some private rooms. Somebody had asked if the room was too small. Now, if the room is too small, yes, you make it a private room, but you just won't get as much money as you would for a shared. So let me give you guys an example. So I'm based in Metro Atlanta, right? So my bed price is $750 a month. Now, I want everybody to drop their city in the chat, and I'm gonna let you know what my students are charging in your area per bed because different people charge different bed prices. Now, for me in Metro Atlanta, I charge $750. Now, I want everybody to drop their city in the chat. California, I got students in California, they're charging $950 to $1,000 per bed. Students in New Jersey charging about $850 per bed. Virginia is anywhere between 700 to 850 per bed. Houston, Texas, anywhere between 700 to 850. Who else we got? Tanya said married people would be good for a private. That's true, Tanya, but I still charge them married people by the bed though. They listen, I'm gonna need all my money. That's 750 a pop. 750 a pop, for real, for real. So yeah, okay. So here's the thing, y'all. So anybody, you can charge anywhere between $500 per bed all the way up to maybe 1,200, 1,500. Now, me personally, even though I charge $750 per bed, I do have some individuals that pay me $1,000 a month, and I do have some individuals that pay me $1,200 per bed a month. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because and the reason I charge $750, so this is how you determine what you're going to charge, right? So number one is going to determine the price of living in your area, the cost of living in your area. So how much is your rent, things like that. And the other thing that's going to determine what you can charge an individual is how much money do they get a month. Because you can't sit here and charge somebody that only get $900, $1,200 for the bed. It's just not going to make sense. So you have to know that the individual that you're housing, and you have to know what your expenses are. Now, me personally, most of my beds, the minimum price of all my beds is $750. Now, I'm gonna break some numbers down for y'all so you can know how much one house can bring you in. One house can bring you in. Shay said, "Y'all go by income." Period. So I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna give you guys one of my houses. So I don't like to put people in my financial business, but I'll give you guys an example from one of my houses so you can see what the income is like for one of my homes. Now, for my students, what I tell them that is after your bills are paid and after you should be profiting, one house should be profiting you at least a minimum, at minimum $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Now, me personally, I'm not about to have no house that's not profiting me a minimum of 2K, but I get way over that. But just to keep it realistic for my students and realistic for you guys, after you pay your bills and everything, you should have profit a minimum of 2K, 1,500 to 2K left to kind of reinvest back into the business and take home. Now, somebody said, if they get 923, how much should we charge Illinois? Now, okay, so let me give you guys an example. So most of my people that I house, they get $943 a month. So the individuals that only get $943 a month, I charge them $750 because I don't want to take their whole check. So honestly, it just depends on you. And most of my people, they are comfortable at $750. And I get the calls all the time, y'all. You might be thinking, oh, that's crazy. You taking their whole check. No, I'm not, because they still got money to get their little cigarettes. And honestly, the people that we house, y'all, they get food stamps. They get different grocery benefits from their insurance card. So just because you taking that $750, let me tell you guys what's included in that bed price. When it comes to the bed price, the only thing that's included in that bed price is their utilities, a fully furnished place to live, and that's it. That's it. Then we connect them with some resources, but that's pretty much it, y'all. You as a housing provider, The main responsibility of you is to provide them a safe and structured place to call home. That's it. That's fully furnished. That's why I kind of related to like Airbnb. So before I got into this business, y'all, I was doing Airbnb. However, I like this way better than Airbnb because you know what you're going to be getting every single month. Is the income is not fluctuating like this and that. So once you know how many people are in your house and you keep it stable like that, you pretty much get the same thing every single month. So I'm gonna break down the numbers for you guys. Now, before I break down the numbers for you guys, somebody asked, do you feed them? No, you do not have to feed them, y'all. That's why I told you guys in the beginning. If you're just joining, drop just join in the chat. If you are just joining, drop just join in the chat, and I'll give you guys a recap. But when it comes to housing the homeless and starting your own housing program, your only responsibility is to provide them housing only. That's it. We're not giving them 3 meals a day. We're not sitting here giving out medication. We're not bathing nobody up. And that's why you don't need any license to do this, y'all, because we're just strictly providing them housing only. There is nothing illegal with providing safe housing to individuals in need. As long as the people that we house, y'all, they can go in that kitchen and make them a sandwich. They can go in the kitchen and make them something to eat. They can go in the bathroom and bathe themselves up. They can go to their doctor's appointments on their own and come back home. Those are the type of people you want to focus on housing, because we're not here to babysit nobody. I'm not housing no dementia patients. I'm not doing that, because if you want to house that type of demographic, guess what? You're going to have to be licensed, zoned, and certified. And I teach you guys how to do this without being licensed, without having to go through zoning, and without having to be certified. So that's what the difference is. So if you're just joining, yes, you can get paid from housing the homeless through starting your own housing program. I teach you guys how to set it up. I've been doing this business since 2021, and this is the business that has made me financially free, y'all. I don't have to clock into a 9 to 5 because I provide safe housing for my community and I get paid for it. So, yeah, we get into a bag, but we're also pouring into our community at the same time. So that's why I come on here and educate you guys on the business model that you need to be starting up. We're not starting up group homes no more, y'all. We're not starting up personal care homes, and we not starting up assisted livings. Why are we not starting those up? Because a lot of y'all that's in this chat, y'all will never have the opportunity to do that. So I take everyday people and I turn them into impactful earners, impactful CEOs. Half of y'all will never have 40K sitting in the bank to start no group home. Half of y'all will never, some of y'all have backgrounds, you have felonies. If you have those things, you will not be able to start a group home, a personal care home. But this business that I'm teaching y'all right here, independent housing, anybody could start this up. Anybody could win in this business. I am not no nurse. I am not a CNA. I am just a business. I tell people I'm a businesswoman first, and I'm a baddie immediately after. And if I could start this up, y'all, anybody could start it up. I have students that are felons. I have students that have done prison time and they got 2, 3 houses up and running. So what's your excuse? You have no excuse. Anybody can come in this business and win. I always tell my students, as long as you got a business mindset and a heart to really want to help people, you can thrive in this field. You definitely can get paid for helping other people, y'all. You don't have to be a nonprofit. You don't have to be a group home. You don't have to be a personal care home or an assisted living. Start you a housing program. This is the new wave. This is the business model that has made me financially free, y'all. I don't have to clock into nobody's job. I don't have to sling an Amazon package. I don't have to do DoorDash and Uber Eats for 30 hours. I don't have to, what else? Beg no man for no money. This is the new wave. This is a business model that is making my students financially free. And listen, y'all, every single day in my community, my students are popping out with receipts. One of my students just posted today, y'all. One of my students just posted today. Her name is Janelle. Janelle just opened her house and got her first move in. She's in Indiana. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm showing a TikTok. But listen, y'all, we got real receipts. She just opened up her first house and got her first move in. This is Indiana. So a lot of y'all in my chat, when y'all be asking, can I do this in this city? Can I do this in this state? When I tell y'all I got students all across the US doing their biggest one, you better tap in with the queen, because it's really to the top for me and my students. I got students in California. I got students in Florida, Louisiana, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, PA. Honestly, the numbers, the success is endless at this point. So if you ain't learning from me, you clearly not trying to win. But really, for my students, they always popping out with a receipt. Let me show you one of my other students that just posted today. When I tell you they be posting their wins in a group every single day, this is another one of my students, Mickey, y'all. Mickey is in California, Pittsburgh, California. And look how cute her room is. Remember, I told y'all we do 2 beds to a room? This is so cute. So I teach you guys how to get paid by the bed. We are really impacting our communities through providing safe housing and we getting paid at the same time. You can't tell me that y'all can't do this. If you got a spare bedroom, Shay Tay, student in Ocala, Florida, period. We got Ocala, Florida in the chat. I got students everywhere at this point. If y'all telling me that y'all got a spare bedroom sitting around in your house, if you got a basement that's sitting empty, if you have a house laying around, and even if you don't have that, y'all, you can rent it. You can rent it for real, for real. I rent all my properties. I got 6 houses and 49 beds. I got students in Arizona too. One of my top students, her name is Majesty. She's a single mother. She got 3 houses in Arizona. But yeah, y'all, you can even rent these houses. So I don't want to hear none of y'all excuses like what's stopping you from opening your own housing program. This to the point where, listen, I don't know if y'all remember when Airbnb was a thing, was a wave, and everybody was coming in making their money, and y'all was sitting there. Some people took advantage of the Airbnb wave, and some people didn't. And I was one of them people that took advantage of the Airbnb wave. And guess what? I made my money and I got on out. And while this industry is unregulated, y'all, this is the best time to take advantage and start yours up. The best time. A lot of y'all be sitting there researching down to the ground and waiting until they put all these things in place. The time is now. The time is now. I've been doing this business since 2021 and I still have my houses to this day and they doing amazing. So that should tell you something. I'm not up here talking something that I don't live in real life. Now, you take payment plans? Yes, I do. Now, so this is another thing, y'all. So I'm gonna break down the numbers for y'all. I'm gonna break down the numbers for y'all and the income potential. So I want everybody in the chat to drop in the chat how much money you would like to make monthly. Be honest. I don't want you don't have to be realistic, but put inside the chat how much you would want to make monthly. Is that maybe 5K a month, 6K a month, maybe 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month? I want everybody in the chat to drop. If you can make one amount of money for monthly, what would it be? Somebody said 5K, 10K. Is that Sharon? Is that my Sharon? Period. She said in our 101, I told you I would have the next house by March, and I did it. Clock that T. Hold on. Period. I gotta get that receipt. Gotta get that receipt. Listen, my students is really doing their biggest one in this chat. So Villain said 20K, 10K, 15K, really around 20K so I can leave my nursing job. Period. K. That's possible. All the numbers that y'all naming in this chat is attainable for you. Monthly, 10K. A lot of y'all saying 10K. And listen, that is so attainable. And I'm going to teach you guys how. Because honestly, it's all a numbers game. And you just need to know how many beds it's going to take to get to your freedom number. Now, for me, I'm going to teach you guys the numbers of my very first house. And I still have this house to this day. So typically, I tell my students to start with a 4-2. Now, a 4-2 is a 4-bed BM 100K, period. Shoot for the stars. I know that's right. So I teach my students to start this business if you can in a 4-2. So a 4-2 is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom. However, I do know the cost of living is high in some places. So you may want to start with a 3-2 or a 3-1, whatever just makes the most sense for you. But just know that when it comes to a 4-2, you want to have a minimum of 8 beds in that house. I want everybody to type 8 in the chat. If you're starting with a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, you need to have a minimum of 8 beds in that house. A minimum of 8, nothing less, for it to make sense. Now, I'm going to tell you why. Now, if you are starting with a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, you need to have a minimum of 6 beds. If you don't have a minimum of 6 or 5 beds, it's just not going to work. I have a 4-bed with a den, period. Now, remember I told you guys, we get paid by the bed. Can we do 4-bedroom, 1-bath? You could, but it might get a little tricky because what happens if one of the bathrooms go down? Now you got a house full of angry people. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I would play it by ear, but that might be pushing it. If you was to do a 4-1 and it's only one bathroom, maybe you can only do 6 people. I wouldn't want to put so many people in the house and they only got one bathroom. Now, remember, I teach you guys, you get paid by the bed. This is how we make our money. So I'm gonna give you guys the number of my very first house that I have. So let's do some math. I'm gonna do some math with y'all. Now, my very first house, I had 9 beds in it. I know I told y'all 8 beds, but the house, I was able to convert another room and make another bed. So I had 9 beds and I still have 9 beds in the house to this day. Now, my rate per bed is 750, y'all. So let's do 750 times 8 because that's the shared bed price. So that one house brings me in 6K with just 8 shared beds, y'all. With just 8 share beds, that one house is bringing me 6K a month. However, I have one more bed that I made into a private room and I charge 1,000 for that. So let me add that to the equation. So let's add 6K plus 1,000. That's 7K. So this is what that one house that I set up, y'all. I set up my 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house one time, and that house is bringing me in every single month $7,000. A lot of y'all is not making this at y'all 9 to 5, so you need to listen up. And this is a house that I only had to set up one time, y'all, and that house pays me every single month like clockwork. I did not have to sling no Amazon packages for this 7K. I did not have to do 30 hours of DoorDash and Instacart for this 7K, y'all. I did not have to babysit nobody for this 7K. This is money that come into me every single month like clockwork since 2021. Money that been coming to me like water at this point. And a lot of y'all ain't making this at y'all 9 to 5. What? Because a lot of y'all put in this chat that y'all financial freedom number was like 5K, 6K. You can make that honestly with just one house if we being real. If we being real. However, I'm gonna subtract the bills because I know we got some funny people. What about utilities? What about rent? We're gonna get to that, but it's still decent. So just to give you an idea, you would be grossing 7K a month just from keeping that one house filled that you only had to furnish one time, y'all. One time. Same thing like an Airbnb. You just had to furnish it one time and keep those beds filled. Now you might be thinking, what about rent? Now the rent for this house that I have is a 4-2. My rent is only $1,850. So let's subtract the rent. Let's subtract the rent out of here to give you guys an idea of what you're going to be left with after you pay all your bills. Now, after I pay my rent, I'm left with $5,150. Now, this is still good, y'all, because a lot of y'all still not making this at your 9 to 5. Or if you are making it at your 9 to 5, you had to slave and stand on your feet and work 10-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts. This money right here, y'all, I do not have to step foot in that house. I get this money every single month like clockwork. That's why I'm teaching you guys how to make money without having to sit there and trade your time for it. You don't have to slave. You don't got to stand on your feet all day. You don't have to be a cashier. You don't got to sling an Amazon package. This is just all for you helping your community and offering safe and structured housing and setting up that house one time. Now, when it comes to bills and utilities, I teach my students that you want to budget anywhere between $500 to $800 a month in utilities. Now, for this house here, my utilities never go over $500, but like my utilities be like at 400 something every single month. So, but for the sake of the example, I'm gonna minus $500 out of the utilities. So let's minus 500. Now we are left with all profit, y'all. All profit. We are bringing home $4,650. This is still good money. My landlords do not even make this off of me, y'all. My landlords only get my rent is $1,850. I'm making way more than the landlords. Now, if we have any homeowners in the chat, drop a 1. If you don't own property, drop a 2. I want to see who we got into the room. If you own property, drop a 1 in the chat. If you don't own property, drop a 2. So those utilities is everything, all the bills. Now tax time, do you pay quick? I don't talk tax stuff if you're not a student. I only talk tax. We talk tax inside of our community. We talk taxes inside of our community. I don't do it on the free platforms. Period. Period. Okay. Now, for the ones that said that they're homeowners, that's even great because guess what? You do not have to ask nobody for permission what to do in your house. This is your house. You can do what you want to do. However, for those of us that rent, it's okay because I rent, y'all. I have 6 houses and 49 beds. I rent with permission. That is a thing. There are landlords and property management companies that will give you permission to rent their houses to run your housing program. So I don't want you to feel discouraged just because you don't own property. You don't have to. I've been renting since 2021 and I'm doing just fine. And honestly, if we being honest, I enjoy renting because anytime something happens, guess what? I'm calling my landlord and I'm putting a ticket in. This thing right here, the stove ain't working, and that's their problem to deal with, not mine. I love that. So however, if you own property, you'll probably have more money. Somebody laughing. If you own the property, you'll probably just get to keep. You don't have to pay no rent. You probably pay mortgage. But when we rent, they raise our rent up sometimes. It is what it is. But I enjoy it. I don't mind it. So you can do this business either renting or owning. So that's fine, y'all. Now, for the ones that said they want to make 10K months, let me show you how simple it is to get to that number, right? So when you're starting, you want to have at least 8 beds. Now, let's say you got 16 beds. 16 beds at 750. Now remember, 16 beds, y'all, that's 2 houses. 2 houses is very manageable. I was running 5 houses by myself before I started hiring part-time help. And I only hired one person part-time. But honestly, I was juggling about 5, 6 houses by myself. So if we being real, these houses don't require much of your time, much of your attention. You're just pretty much managing conflict. Now let's do 16 beds at 750. That's 12K a month that you're bringing in every single month. This is gross, but that's just 2 houses, y'all. 2 houses. And remember, I told you that my first house has 9 beds. So even if you get a house and you can probably put maybe 10 beds, you might can get to your number a little faster. But so that is very good money. A lot of people will never see that. What I tell people is I made my very first 6 figures in housing. Before this business, I never touched 6 figures in my life, y'all. Now I make multiple 6 figures with ease. So that's why I come on here and present this to y'all that there is another way to become financially free and help people. You don't have to start a group home. You don't have to start a personal care home. You don't have to start an assisted living. Start a housing program. This is the new wave. This is the new wave. I'm not telling y'all what I think. I'm telling y'all what I know. And a lot of people call this independent housing, independent living, shared living, co-living, because guess what? You're not responsible for anything but providing them that safe and structured place to call home. That's it. That's it. So that's what you want to focus on. So for those that are saying, "Oh, I want to make 10K months," honestly, that's really just 2 houses. And I tell people the thing I love about being an entrepreneur is there is no cap on your income. If you wake up one morning and say, "I want to open 10 houses, I want to have 50 beds," who gonna stop you? Nobody. Ain't nobody stopping you. The city, I tell people the city can't clock my tea because I'm not doing, there's nothing illegal about providing safe housing to independent, high functioning people. Shout out to you, D Moore. Shout out to you for the gifts. 37-year-old male. I want to do this in the south suburb of Chicago. Is this possible? You and Jay going crazy. I'm ready too. Shout out to you, D Moore. Period. I'm on YouTube too, y'all. So yes, we actually have students in our community that's in Chicago and that's in Indiana. When I tell y'all I got students everywhere, I'm so for real. Like, so and even if I don't, we was on a monthly call like 2 days ago, and one of the ladies, she was like, "Yeah, I'm out in Iowa." I said, "Iowa? I didn't even know I had students out there, y'all." And she had just got her house. So when I tell y'all that people are doing this everywhere, there's homelessness everywhere, not just in major cities like Atlanta and Charlotte. Listen, what I tell people is if you got a homeless shelter in the area, if there's homelessness, you can set this up. You can set this up. Nothing is stopping you but your mind. That's it. You don't have to give these people 3 meals a day. You don't have to beg nobody up. You don't got to call zone and say, excuse me, do I have permission to house 6 unrelated? If I don't tell you how to do that, why would you go do that? I'm telling you, I teach you guys step by step the blueprint that has given me success in this business where I don't have to ask nobody for no permission. And I say this, y'all, the city did come to my house one time. But guess what? They couldn't find no fault in me, so I sent them on their way. And that's the thing. When y'all doing this business the right way, when you're running your housing program to a certain standard, they can't say nothing to you because this is not illegal what we're doing. So that's just that on that. That's why you need to be learning from the queen of all of this, because I'm really going to put y'all on. I've been doing this business and I'm still in the field. And that's the thing. A lot of people teaching, but they're not really doing it. But if you're in this chat and you thinking, well, if you ever have a desire to get paid from housing veterans, seniors, people coming home from prison, people that are disabled in need of a safe place, people in recovery that's looking to get their life back on track, maybe single mothers, you need to be starting you a housing program, y'all. And I teach you guys how to do it step by step. Now, if you're in the chat, you like, okay, this sounds good. How can I get started? How can I become a student? Drop student in the chat and I'm going to open up some spots for students. So drop students in the chat and I'm going to do something special for y'all. For everybody that want to become a student, want to start this up in their city, drop student in the chat. Listen, y'all, the time is now. Speak now, forever hold your peace. And when I tell y'all, I really take everyday people and turn them into impactful earners and impactful CEOs. This is a real thing. And I don't know nobody else on the internet that's pulling out success stories the way me and my community pulls them out, because we really want to see y'all win. We're not just here saying, oh, buy this course and there's not no motion being had. When I tell you I have students that get into this business and they get started within 60 to 90 days, that's a real thing. That's a real thing, y'all. But you have to be willing to put the work in, stay down for your come up, and actually follow the material. Actually follow the material. So yes, so here's what I'm gonna do. So for everybody that's in the chat that's want to become a student, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to discount my program. Catstone says she to go. Y'all cop up. Listen, they better get with it because I don't be doing. I'm about to be stopping and doing the discounts in a minute. So but for everybody that's in the chat that want to get started, the best way to become a student is to invest in my bundle. My bundle is going to walk you from A to Z, how to set this up in any city, in any state, how to find the individuals in your community that's in need of safe housing that have money. I'm also going to teach you guys, if you don't own property, I'm going to teach you what to say to the landlords and where to go in your city, in your community, to find private landlords and property management companies that will allow you to sublease and run your housing program and make your money in peace. And I also teach you guys inside the bundle how to set up your houses where you don't have to be there every day. I don't have to be shackled at my homes every day, y'all. Like, I really get on the plane, I live life, I travel. I really led a life of my dreams. I created a life of freedom for myself because I started these housing programs. These housing programs take care of me and they pour back into my people that I house at the same time. And what I tell y'all is there's no greater feeling than to know that you're helping somebody and you're getting paid at the same time. We running a business at the end of the day. So it got to make sense. So what I'm going to do is for 5 minutes, I'm going to discount my program. So currently it's not, let me see. I'm going to discount my program for 5 minutes. So y'all better take action. And there is Klarna and Afterpay. So if you do want to do the payment plan, you definitely can. It'll break it down into installments for you. And I highly recommend you guys to do the payment plan because one of my top students, Majesty, y'all, she started out with the payment plan and she's a single mother. And right now, Majesty's in Arizona. She got 3 houses. Majesty ain't got a DoorDash no more. She said, I ain't got a DoorDash no more. I be blowing money fast. And that's what it's about. We take everyday people and turn them into impactful earners, impactful CEOs. So if you ever had desire to get paid from helping others, you don't have to start a nonprofit. Start you a housing program. Start you a housing program, get paid for what you do, and actually pour back into your community at the same time. So currently, my program is discounted, and I'm going to show you guys how to become a student, how to join the winning team. And once you invest and become a student, you get ongoing mentorship inside of my community, inside of our exclusive community. And it's not a free community. The only way to join, you have to become a student. So if you're on TikTok, what you're going to do, you're going to click on my profile picture right up here. Once you click on that profile picture, another box is going to pop up at the bottom. If you're on YouTube, just click the drop down bar. And then once you click on the other box that come in, this is what you're going to do. It's going to take it to my page. And once you go to my page, you're going to hit where it says Stand Store. Once you hit where it says Stand Store, it's the very first one, y'all. It's on sale. It will never be this low again. So take advantage. If you want to use Klarna and Afterpay, just scroll all the way down and you will hit this button right here where it'll give you the option to qualify for Klarna or Afterpay. And once you get it, come back and say, got it. And I'm going to show you guys how to join the mentorship to get ongoing support on your journey and how to ask your questions. So once you get it, come back and say, got it, so I can shout you out. And I'm going to show you how to join the exclusive community where you get ongoing coaching, ongoing support. If you're on YouTube, what you're going to do is hit the drop down bar in this description, and it says enroll to become a student. Click that LINK, and it's the very first one for the bundle. So on Facebook, what you're going to do is the link should be pinned here in this chat. Let me see. It should be pinned here in this chat. And if you are in Tampa, I'm going to be in Tampa, y'all, March 28th. So get your tickets to Tampa. It's going to be a vibe. So if you want to learn in person, come to the in-person event. It's going to be next level. Even if you are a student, you get access to our in-person events at a discounted rate. Who is that? Honey Lust. I most definitely paid for the course. I can't wait to start. Let's go, honey. Period. Shout out to my action takers in the chat. I need the community page. Okay, so for the ones that are investing in themselves and becoming a student, welcome to the winning team. Welcome to the winning team. This is to the top for us. So this is what you're gonna do to join the community now that you're a student. Hold on. What the heck is going on? This is it's called Lashane said, just bought it. Let's go. Lady Dang said, got it last night. Period. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to FB and you're gonna type in independent housing community. This is what it looks like, y'all. Once you type in independent housing community, put the email that you purchased with to be approved. The only way, so you got to physically go to FB and type in independent housing community. This is how you get your questions answered after you purchase your bundle, after you become a student. This is where you get the ongoing support. Waiting to get into the FB group. I answered the question. Well, try to request again. So just cancel it and re-request because I don't think there's any current ones pending. But do not forget this step. So all my students that's going to get their bundle, come back and go join this community. This is where you get ongoing support on your journey. This right here, the independent housing community. But you have to put your email in the question box and make sure you have a profile picture too. If you don't have a profile picture, it might not get approved. So you definitely have to have a profile picture. It don't have to be a picture of you. I know everybody want to move in silence. It could be a picture of a flower, of a dog. It don't matter. But this is where you're going to get ongoing support on your journey, y'all. Not my inbox. When you have questions after you watch the replay, this is the community that's going to take you to your next level because we have free monthly meetups. So in these free monthly meetups, you get your questions answered. You get group support, not really one-on-one, but you get free coaching inside of this community. So I'll do it right now. Thank you. Period. So yes, I'm coming to Tampa, K Jones. The tickets are in the description. So if you are on anywhere in my LINK, the tickets are in the description for Tampa. We're gonna have the main event is gonna be on Saturday, March 28th, and then we're gonna have a brunch and networking portion on Sunday. You do not want to miss it. We're going to be building housing programs by the water. So it's going to be a vibe, y'all. So this is what it looks like. It's called Independent Housing Community. It's flipped backwards, but it's like a blue logo. So once you become a student, go join this community. Will we be able to view the Tampa meeting in the FB? No, you have to be in person. You have to be there in person. But once you're a student, you get discounted rates to the event. So make sure you get your Tampa for ticket inside of this community because there is a discount code that gives you money off. So make sure if you want to come to Tampa, get your ticket to Tampa when you get inside the community. Shay said, got my VIP, period. Let's go. Rochelle said, just purchased my bundle. All right, period. Welcome to the winning team. Welcome to the winning team, Shamika. Shamika did her biggest one. So if there's anybody in the chat that want to become a student, you want to learn, well, how can I learn independent housing from you? Drop me in the chat and I'll show you how to become a student today while it's on sale. Oh, I forgot to put a timer. Hey Siri, set alarm for 5 minutes. I'm only going to keep it discounted for 5 minutes. So if you still want to become a student, you want to join the winning team, you want to see how my students is having real success within 90 days, drop me in the chat. Drop me in the chat and I'll show you how to become a student. But shout out to all my action takers, all my trophies in the chat that's doing their biggest one. Once you become a student, make sure you guys join the FB group. This comes with your purchase of the bundle. So make sure you join this. Reginald says student. Reginald, are you already a student or you want to become a student? Now, if you're on YouTube, what you're going to do is you're going to click the drop bar in this chat. So when you drop the drop bar, it says enroll to become a student. Click on that Stand Store link and that's going to take you to the bundle. The bundle is the only way to become a student, y'all. Either get the bundle or get your ticket to Tampa and that's what's going to make you a student. So yes, wait, I'm sorry. When is it Tampa? So Tampa is March 28th. March 28th and then March 29th, because we're going to have a brunch March 29th too. So it's a 2-day event. It's going to be a vibe. Me and Up to Score. So 2 of the best in the business, 2 of the realest in the field. We the only 2 that you should be learning housing from, y'all. So don't meet me there. Beat me there if we being real. I didn't have a profile pic. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah. So just re-request. And then when I get off of here, I'm going to let everybody in. But yes. So if I have any last questions, drop y'all questions in the chat before I get off of here. If you are a student, welcome to the winning team. For everybody that invested in themselves tonight, it's to the top for you. I'm trying to purchase. I have to wait a sec. I need to. Okay, I'm gonna give you. If there's anybody else that I'm waiting on that want to become a student, drop me in the chat, and then I'll wait for y'all a little bit. And you make friends in the community. That part. When I tell y'all that. You could find your business bestie in that community. Like we have students from almost everywhere, all across the US. So it's power in community. There is no other group on FB that's birthing out success stories like our group, the independent housing community, y'all. Like I'm just so for real. I don't even brag on myself, but I brag on my students. So I really could brag different because anybody could say that, yeah, I did this, look what I did, look how much I make. But I get more fulfillment when I know that I helped a single mother make her own money where she don't have to DoorDash no more, where I helped a mother that was a felon that to create a business that really changed her whole life. It has her walking to her purpose. That's what I get enjoyment from. I don't come on this internet to make income claims. I don't come on here to flex on nobody. The way I flex, the way I brag is different. I brag through my students. How I take everyday people, like one of my students, Sharon, she was an overworked nurse and she was able to actually create a housing program that takes care of her where she don't, even if she don't want to work that nursing job, guess what? She got options. After she get 2-3 houses open, she could walk away from that. That's what it's about. It's about creating freedom. It's about creating time freedom, financial freedom, building something that you could be proud of, something that can't nobody take from you. What I tell y'all that when you start a housing program and you create a business that really fills you up, that can't nobody take from you, it just gives you a certain level of confidence. And a lot of people always be like, oh, she cocky, she this, she that. But y'all don't know what I went through to get here. Like I'm really an introvert. I really had to step outside of myself to be successful and get to where I am today. So yes, I'm going to pop it every time I get on the internet because who else is going to pop it for me? Like make it make sense. So don't ever let nobody try to dim your light. Don't ever let nobody try to talk you down on your accomplishments. You owe yourself the right to pop it for yourself. So let that be proof for y'all. You have permission to pop it on yourself. Nobody know your story. Nobody know your journey. We all deserve to live a life of freedom. We all deserve to be making 10K months if you really got the work ethic to handle that. So that's just that on that. What's the name of the community? Let me show you. So it's called Independent Housing Community. and make sure you put your email. It's going to ask you a few questions. Make sure you put the email that you purchased with to be approved. But that's the one thing, y'all. Yeah, I'm cocky. Yeah, I talk all this crap, but I could really back it up with my students. It's different as somebody saying, oh, I'm number one, I'm number one. But where's your receipt? One thing about me, I'm going to keep a receipt through my students, and they be in this chat telling what they doing as well. It never gave cap over here. I'm really real. I'm really real in the field. And I'm passionate about what I do. I love taking everyday people and turning them into impactful earners, impactful CEOs. I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you did 30 years in prison. I don't care if you have bad credit. If you got a mindset that you want to be successful and you got a work ethic to not quit, I'm going to take you to the top because you deserve that. You deserve that. Somebody said, what is the discount code? No code needed. No code needed. So it's currently discounted. Oh, timer. Timer just and Marisa, I just got mine. Period. Shout out to all my trophies in the chat. I call my students my trophies, but y'all doing y'all biggest one. Shout out to all my trophies, all my action takers, all my heavy hitters. It's to the top for you because guess what? You connected with a winner. When you connect with me, you can't lose. As long as you got a business mind and a work ethic on you, it's to the top. And I promise you that. Now you come over here BSing around, playing around, is the material is not going to work for you. And you got to have a pure heart, y'all. Don't just be in this for the money. Yes, the money is good, but we are still in this business to pour into our people and make them feel like they're a part of something. When you focus on keeping good intentions and doing what God calls you to do, you cannot fail. You cannot lose in life. Even with me getting on these platforms and teaching you guys what has made me financially free, this is a part of my purpose. And that's why I'm the top in my industry right now, because my heart is pure and I'm just here to be a light. I'm here to show y'all what's possible. A lot of people are not going to make this. Before I came on the scene, before Up the Square came on the scene, y'all, this material was not accessible to a lot of y'all. People was charging thousands of dollars for what I practically give for y'all for nothing. They charged thousands. And then y'all still complain about my praise. But if you don't pay for it, you're not going to value it. So that's why you have to put a price tag on these things. If people don't pay, they're not going to pay attention. But I really came into this industry, flipped it all the way upside down, and made so many successful people while I was doing it. And I made the information accessible to a lot of people. But they're not going to tell you that, though. They're going to say I'm cocky. They're going to say, oh, she be putting people down. I don't put nobody down. I call out the cap. I call out internet cap, and I'm a truth teller. So when I see cap and I see weirdo things on the internet, I'm going to call it out every single time. I don't like people taking advantage of. I don't like seeing people taking advantage of. My pretty says, scary money don't make money. Listen, clock that. Clock that right there, that part. So yes, but shout out to y'all for being on the live tonight. This is the last call for alcohol. Is there anybody else that want to become a student that don't know how to become a student and want me to show them? Drop me in the chat. Yolanda said, thanks to your big heart. Absolutely, no problem. Like, this is like when I be yelling at y'all, it's not that I'm yelling at y'all. I'm really passionate. I love what I do. I love seeing people win. I love helping people boss their life up and like bring out the best in the person. Like, I love it. I love it. And the fact that I get paid to do it now is, listen, it's even better. So I teach you guys how to create impactful businesses that get you paid. That's what life is about. There's no greater feeling than to know that you're getting paid to help somebody. Like, that's like the dream job. Like, I love what I do, y'all. I live life on my own terms. I wake up, I have control over my day. I go work out. I get on here and yell at y'all and motivate y'all. Then I go to my houses when I'm bored. I go check on them, pick up some money, talk to them, laugh with them. Like, life could not be better. I get on a plane, I travel when I get ready to leave. Like, I love that for me. And this is what I want for y'all. I want y'all to have options in life. You should have options in life. Everybody deserves a life of options and freedom. So hope you guys enjoyed the segment tonight. So you could either elevate with me or you could watch me elevate, but the choice is yours. But for me and my students, it's to the top for us. That's what I'm telling y'all. It's to the top for me and mine. Emery said how to get to on the FB. So what you're going to do, you're going to type in independent housing community in your search bar. And once you type that, put the email you purchased with to be approved. And then it should let you in. But everybody that purchased their bundle, shout out to you guys. Welcome to the winning team. It's to the top for you. Make sure you guys watch your bundle. If you don't see it, check your spam, check your promotions folder. And then if you still don't see it, sometimes y'all misspell your email. So just email me and I'll look into it. What if you don't have an FB? I highly recommend for you to create a page just for the group, because that's how you're going to be able to stay plugged into the free monthly calls where you can come and get your questions answered, and you can, get ongoing support on your journey. Honey said, I'm trying to wake up and go to Disneyland just because I can't. Listen, I use my free will to get on a plane, y'all. That's what I love about this life. When you lit, you ain't got no kids, you got money. I use my free will to just do crazy things. I get on a plane. Listen, I don't even schedule this stuff. I have this stuff. I just go online. Let me book this flight. That's how y'all should be living y'all lives, for real, for real. For real, for real. To the top and of the score. Heavy on that, Yolanda. We up in the score every single time. But shout out to y'all for being in the chat tonight. Make sure you guys go sign up for the community for all my action takers, all my trophies. It's to the top. Love you guys. Make sure you follow me on all platforms. It's Lane Lavish on all platforms. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Lane Lavish. I'm Lane Ash on FB. But shout out to y'all. Make sure you follow me. I only have one TikTok account. I would never inbox y'all first. Please. I'm not talking about no WhatsApp, no Bitcoin, no trading. So if somebody is inboxing you, do not be scammed. Delete and block that person. I would never be on this app asking y'all for no money. If anything, I'm going to tell y'all to get the bundle so you can change your life. That's the only thing I want y'all to do. Invest in yourself, get that bundle, and put the work in and change your life. But shout out to y'all tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time. Bye.